What fundamentally interests me is, what does good mean? What is good business? Because obviously I'm in a business school. Now, good's a very big subject. Are things good or not? And let's take that straight into the business case when we talk about metrics. When somebody's trying to put a measure on you and measure your output, well, what does good output look like? Is good a property? Is it a real thing? Or does it only exist in context in relation to something else? And that's the idea that, is good an intrinsic property, or is it an extrinsic context-related property? And there are arguments both ways. Some people say, health, for instance, is always good. It's good to have good health. And there's some work by Franke that there's a list of things that are just good. Whereas Moore, a philosopher, said no, he was much more towards, no, good exists in context, and for something to be good, it must be good in a certain context. So if we take, if you're selling ice cream, that's a tough sell when it's snowing. If you put a metric on somebody to say, you've got to sell this many ice creams today, and it's snowing, is that a good metric? How are we doing that business? So these are the sort of questions, I obviously as an academic I take it to a very deep level, but it comes up at a very practical surface level to understand what good is. We also talk about value. Value is a measure of good. Now, value can be, and most often people think about value in terms of money, and money at point of exchange. But that's value as exchange, with money as a proxy for somehow what good is. But we all know we've bought something, maybe spent a lot of money on it, and got it home and was like, it's not quite what I thought. Because value is a very slippery, multifaceted concept. We can think about the net benefits of, we bought this because of these potential benefits. We can talk about, we bought this because we perceived it would satisfy these needs. We can talk about value because we thought it was a deal, cheap somehow. There's a number of ways of thinking about it, but actually what I'm interested in is value in use, because value is only realized when you use something, and most of our value decisions are made at the point of exchange, the point of sale. But the value realization, when we realize, is this valuable, is when we use it. The nice pair of shoes are no longer valuable if you're crossing a muddy field, because that's when wellies are where it's at. So value is contextual. Now this is interesting, and this is where my work again comes in the digital space, Internet of Things. If we can measure use and all the electronic devices and the feedback, we can suddenly see this person's using this in context. And the context, we can get information about the environment in which our product, our service was used and employed. Suddenly we've got a much richer picture of the value that was created, how good my offer was.